Hello and welcome to my professional presentation analysis. I chose three very interesting topics to me for this assignment, and I shall start off with Reggie Watts. Reggie Watts starts talking in French in the very beginning of his presentation and then moves on to talking English, and does it in a very comedic way as he starts explaining his idea with a poetic flow. His charismatic charm was what immediately reeled me into his idea and wanting to know more of what he meant. He then starts beatboxing and using special hardware to show his musical talent. I love beatboxing myself. This is what really captured me from this presentation. Reggie uses a lot of body gestures throughout his performance to keep the audience's attention. The audience really shows engagement right away by laughing at his jokes and clapping after his musical performance. My second TED video was with supermodel Cameron Russell. Looks aren't everything, believe me, I'm a model. Miss Russell describes how looks are nothing but a superficial image. This captured my attention because I believe the media has impacted my thoughts towards looks. I learned that just because you might think a famous model looks flawless and lives a perfect life, it is not the case. I noticed that in the beginning of her presentation, I had an emotional gut feeling, as if I were in her shoes, feeling awfully awkward in front of everybody, changing into a different outfit. She was even sounding a little out of the breath from nervousness. I love that she used not only a story to engage us, but made us think that she was actually having an awkward moment. This really made me grasp the message. She mentioned that imagery is superficial. It really isn't everything. One day we will all grow old and have gray hair. At that point, our looks won't matter. What's inside will, and what you did with your life. My third and final TED Talk was by Vincent Moon and Nana Vasconcelos. Hidden Music Rituals Around the World. Mr. Moon starts off by asking the audience a rhetorical question of his idea. How can we use cameras, computers, and microphones to keep peace in the world in an alternative way, as much as possible? His strong accent made it a little difficult to understand his point at first, but this made me want to pay more close attention. I was intrigued by the way that his idea was so resonating with mine. He says music around the world has the power to heal us spiritually. This presentation was really powerful to me because it expressed the same way I feel for music. Nana's Sounds of Nature in his last performance made me feel very blissful along with the audience, making it a very wonderful journey on our way to embrace music globally and cherish the people that come with it. 10 different qualities I found very useful for presentations. The first one is confidence. They all deliver the content very well, not being afraid to show their true colors. As I mentioned, Cameron Russell shows a bit of her timid side in the very beginning, changing into her different outfit. Number 2, rhetorical question. I noticed that in Cameron and Vincent's presentations, they ask a rhetorical question to the audience in the beginning. This reels the audience into their idea. For example, in Vincent's presentation, he asks how we can change the world in a peaceful way with just a camera, microphone, and computers. This question made the audience think about something they perhaps haven't thought of before. Number 3, call to action. Reggie states that a person's future is the reflection of what we are and do today, so we literally create our own future. Number 4, contrast. Cameron in particular really stood out to me in the way that she made these comparisons by showing pictures of what she looked like in her normal clothes and then compared them to how she looked in that same day, but with all her glam work done for a photo shoot. Number 5, brief but powerful images or videos. Vincent shows very short clips from his films on his journey around the world, capturing music rituals one might not have even known existed unless he saw these films. On the other hand, Cameron uses pictures, both modeling and of her everyday life, to show how normal she really looks like as to what people might perceive her by. Number 6, live performance. I really enjoyed how Reggie seemed as if he was making his presentation along the way, with his very natural flow. Vincent also brings in a live performer at the end of the presentation, Nana Vasconcelos, to complete his idea by actually embracing the energy from the ritualistic music with the audience. Number 7, props. Cameron uses her set of clothes as part of her act to show how different her image can impact how people see her as a person. Reggie, on another note, uses his hardware tools to create his original beats and vocals to show how the audience can and anyone can make what they want out of an idea they want to express to the world. Number 8, body and hand gestures. Just like the readings explained from Resonate and Slideology, hand and body gestures is a huge way to engage with your audience. Reggie and Vincent do an awesome way of expressing their ideas by doing this. Reggie mostly makes body gestures both funny and flowing with his comedic poetry. Vincent uses a lot of hand gestures. Number 9, story. All 3 presenters shared their own stories in a very different tone, which was very relatable to the idea they were expressing. For example, Vincent tells a story about an experience he had in Chechnya to show how the people from there perceived visitors from other countries. Last but not least, something I'll always remember, Vincent just added more to my obsession over the idea of music changing the world in a positive way. Reggie Watts showed me that we could literally create our own future with the power of will. Lastly, Cameron showed me that although someone can look flawless, they might not be flawless on the inside.